Welcome to the TDC Today Show. My name is Sue Roscoff, and the Disability Channel, or TDC, is out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and we are all about showcasing abilities. TDC is committed to providing quality digital media production services, education, and employment programs by and for persons with disabilities and veterans. TDC offers digital media production, video production, post-production, social media, and podcast creation, production, and support. TDC offers education and employment programming, which includes digital media courses to persons with disabilities who are unemployed and underemployed. TDC also offers community partnerships. Through partnerships and sponsorships, community partners and organizations become ability champions by supporting media created by and for persons with disabilities. And we are your USA team. And by we, I am introducing Miss Denise Vargas to the show. Welcome and come on in, Denise. So glad to have you here as always. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing fabulous. How are you doing?
Same. It's summertime. I am having a great time already this summer. We are doing so many good things with oh my gosh, you know us. It's ski season. So there's a lot going on and we're doing our best to make the most.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear all about it.
Well, we do have some updates. This has been a busy week. We've had a lot going on. A couple of important and exciting announcements I want to share. The first one, I think most people at this point know that Kurt and I, are ambassadors with Project Die Hard. So Project Die Hard is an organization that is all about giving hope to veterans, and in that, combating the whole concept of veteran suicide. So with all the things that we are doing, there is a location in Makanda, Illinois. It is Forward Operating Base Rush. So so we often call it just FOB Rush. And they are located just a couple miles away from Southern Illinois University at Carbondale. The super exciting news. They have been working very hard between Brian Gibson, who's the founder and president of Project Die Hard, has been working very, very closely with some individuals at SIU and have come up with and signed off on the resource partner agreement. So there's a memorandum of understanding in place now that was signed by Brian and the chancellor of the university. So they officially are a resource partner for Project Die Hard, which absolutely is huge because the goal all along has been to have some educational programs that will take place for our veterans right on location there at Makanda, Illinois at FOB Rush. They have a room already set up that they are able to have meetings there, classes there. There's all the things in place for doing Zoom so that they can have remote access that way. But it is official that SIU is now part of the resource team. So that is absolutely amazing. And I'm so excited that that is in place. And we'll see what comes next because there's a lot of pieces now that need to keep moving forward and fall into place here to continue that. And with that, we are here with the TDC, with the Disability Channel. The Disability Channel is going to be part of this and being able to offer programming on location there at FOB Rush. And we were just meeting with folks here at TDC this week, and there's a lot of pieces to get in place, but we are getting them in place. So it is an exciting time. So many good things happening in that little corner of the world. So thrilled to be able to announce that here tonight. A couple other things that are coming up. We also do a lot of the adaptive water skiing. So this Friday, we are going to be in Burlington, Wisconsin at Fisher Park, and we are doing adaptive water skiing. We have our first open big event going on as of just tonight. We saw Rick and Denise tonight. They are the ones that bring all the equipment and so much of the expertise with what we do there. 21 people are already signed up to participate this
Wow.
Friday. So we are excited. The season's here. It is time to go have some fun. So we will be on the water all day Friday. And I'm sure next week we'll be able to give you a little more insight and updates on what we all did. But I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
That sounds awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear more about it. I cannot wait to see the pictures, which I could be there in person. But you know what? I'm gonna be living vicariously through you.
Oh, we will share. We will share a lot. It is so much fun. You until you see those smiles. Oh, that's what it's all about. It is a great day for everybody. So, one more thing I got to share. Like I said, this past week was a big week. There is an organization, I guess you'd say, a group that they put on an event daily. So, Monday through Friday, they have the Daily Huddle, just like it sounds, Daily Huddle. The way to find it, it's really simple. Dailyhuddle.live, Live. So if you go to that website, dailyhuddle.live, you'll be able to find I believe it is that you end up like entering your email address. They will send you the Zoom link, and it is Monday through Friday. Each day there's a different topic, a different host, so to speak. And like Mondays is financial topics, and I'm talking about the one that we did on Friday, though. They have leadership and business topics on Fridays. Well,
Wow.
Kurt, he in his wisdom and in what he does, he talked to the guys. So the guys who run the whole thing, Sorel Catan and Giovanni Gonzalez. So Gio and Sorel are wonderful guys. They've been guests on our radio show in the past. And now Kurt's got it worked out with them that we've been able to do not just Daily Huddle, but transformed it slightly for a few dates now where we've actually gotten to do an ability huddle. This past Friday, it was me and Kurt together getting to do the ability huddle, and the topic was ADA reboot. Did we advance or retreat? That was our question of the day. So, ADA reboot, did we advance or retreat? So, Diva, I'm going to go ahead and throw that your way and get some thoughts from you. What do you think? How are we doing? It's gosh, how many years
Yeah.
in the making now? We're 34 years in. What do you think?
Well, I feel like we've come a long way. Don't get me wrong. I'm super happy that we have it. And, it's opened up a lot of opportunity for people with disabilities and veterans. I feel, however, that we've come to a halt. Like I feel like we have the curb cuts, we have the ramps, we have the elevators. We don't have to go do the back cargo elevator anymore. I remember those days.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah. But so yes, we've come a long way, but I just feel like a lot of us have stopped fighting, right? Like we still have our groups, that rally together for more accessibility, for more inclusion. But I feel that we need more people to really understand the need and that it doesn't just affect people with disabilities. It's something like I like to call it universal design, right? Because everyone can
Exactly.
use it. And I feel that if more people understood that, we would be way more advanced.
I absolutely agree. That is something when you said that, that made me think locally here, we are so blessed to have Milwaukee County. We're just outside of Milwaukee County, but they have done so many good things locally where we are. They just, oh gosh, I believe it was 2 summers ago, they did the ribbon cutting ceremony for a park that is actually the first ever universal park. It is designed for everybody because just like you're saying, if you design it for those that have any kind of special, I don't know if that's the best word even to use, but help me out here, any kind of special needs for what they would be able, so things that where a wheelchair can use, where it literally anybody can use, because if you can access it with a wheelchair, then I think you could probably walk to it as well, that
Yeah.
type of thing where
Yeah.
everything is accessible to everybody. That
Oh,
was the
certainly.
design of this park.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And because it's more inclusive, especially for children. I remember when I was younger, it was so much easier to make friends. I mean, I know that everyone it has nothing to do with, having a disability or not, but as you get older, it makes it more difficult to make new friends, right? Like you're used to the people that you either grew up with, went to college with, or your married friends, or your friends with children. So you have your little cliques. But when you're younger and you're in the playground, you make friends quickly. Everyone wants to play with you, right? So imagine if we had more inclusive parks. We would be raising children that just sees everyone for who they are. They're not looking at you or judging you or whatever, right? They just want to play with you. So imagine more accessible parks. I would love that.
I'm hoping this will be a trend that goes out and beyond. And I know there's other locations in the country, but there's not many yet. So
Right.
you're right, because things have become pretty stagnant. And it's funny that it's not funny, but it's funny that it takes somebody to grab the baton and say, I am doing this. I am going to make the difference. I'm gonna sound the horns. I'm gonna bring, I mean, that's the part that I think is unfortunate, that it takes somebody really making kind of a big stink about things before it can finally turn around and be an accepted thing here of, oh yeah, okay, if we're going to build a park, maybe we should make it universally accessible.
Exactly.
Why do we keep doing things the hard way? You know,
Yeah.
truly move forward. It's becoming more common now to see accessible playground equipment and that type of thing, but it's still, there's a swing, or there's a thing. It's not
Right.
that the whole playground is, right?
Exactly. And really, when you think about it, it's more logical to do it as you're building it. It's more cost effective than to do it afterwards.
Absolutely agree with that. That having the design from the start truly is the way to do it.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I think is huge. So something as that's a great example to me is something along those lines where here we go, as you're building it, that's kind of where, with ADA, that's sort of where things went, like with the buildings, the curb cuts, all the things that needed to be put in place in order to be in compliance. So where do you think we can go next? What other thoughts are there? Because like you said, some of these things have become rather stagnant, and
Yeah.
I think there's still so much room for more, right?
Absolutely. Well, I would like to see more apartments and homes being accessible. And those are easy fixes. For example, just make the doorways wider, make the bathroom bigger, make it so that you have the sinks that go up and down, so that you can, and that would be good, not just for people with disabilities, for your children. As your children are growing up, they're little people. So therefore, before they get high enough, they don't need to use the stools anymore. Just have the sink go up and down. It really is universal. Everyone would be able to use it.
And you would think, even as a landlord, that means you can rent to anybody. I think
Exactly.
that's kind of a piece here to think about with it all as well.
Yeah,
There's an upside in many different directions, and I'm trying to think what the downside is. I don't know that there is one.
there really isn't.
So,
I mean, at the end of the day, I understand that many people are going to say it's too expensive, but too expensive compared to what? You've got to build it anyway. And then later on, if you need it, then it will be more expensive because now you got to tear down the original to rebuild the new one.
and that's a little more expensive to do it that way, isn't it?
Yeah,
And that's where I actually think back to that whole concept of, okay, I'm able-bodied now. I can walk and I can use a sink that works for me now, but I still keep in my head temporarily able-bodied.
yeah,
The friend, actually, it's the same friend that's been in charge of spurring this whole local park to be this universal park. That's the same guy who introduced the term tab to me, temporarily able-bodied, because I sure hope I get to be old enough that my body wears out before my head does, and but I'm still going, and
right.
I'm gonna need those same accommodations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just never know, and the mere fact that we're all going to age into some sort of disability. So it only makes sense.
It truly does. And I guess that's where I hope this conversation, I know what that came up when we were doing the ability huddle on Friday. It's like, why are we talking about all this? Why do we keep this conversation going? And we need to keep the conversation going because you don't know what you don't know. If it's never crossed your mind that, oh, sinks can do that, they can go up and there, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Or, oh, curb cut, back, I say back in the day now, it was not that long ago, 34 years ago, that curb cutouts and ramp entrances, that was not the norm.
It
That
was.
was not that long ago.
Or elevators. I mean, remember, I know that elevators actually became a thing before the AZA, but I remember, I'm only 56 years old, but I remember when we used to go to the circus, I used to have to go in the crate elevator where all the animals were because that was the only way to get upstairs. I know, right?
Talk about seeing behind the scenes there.
Yeah,
Kind of cool in one way, but not cool.
I
You should be able to
know.
get in.
Exactly. And now everyone uses the elevator, right? It's something
Mhm.
that we're all going to use.
And so that is something then, so we've come a long ways, but there's definitely room to grow. There's definitely advances that can be made.
For
So
sure.
what about this thing called DIA? Or tell me more about that.
So the Disability Integration Act, I am really hoping that they've been trying to push it now for a while. I really hope that it comes through because that's the one law that I really feel would make it an even more playing ground, if you will, for everyone because I live in New York. Because the benefits I get in New York, I would not be able to get in other states. Now, when the DIA comes about, I can choose where I want to go because whatever assistance I need will be able to follow me to whatever state I live in. And that is going to be a huge difference for so many people.
To be able to actually choose for yourself
Yes.
where you live.
Yeah.
I don't think people think about that, right? That you don't realize the part of, okay, if you've got to have wheelchair access. There's different pieces that you need to have in place. You personally need to be able to have these certain pieces in place to live where you do.
Absolutely.
And it's not that way where you are right now. It works. You can't move to Wisconsin and have that be
No,
workable at this time or
nope.
most any other state or actually any other state, right?
New York, so far is the best.
Hmm.
California comes in second. So yeah,
So it's limited.
yeah.
The idea of being able to choose where you live, I think is a basic thing that too many people take for granted.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we all
People,
do. Whenever we have something that works for us, I was like, oh, okay, that's great. But the moment that you run into something that doesn't work, you're like wondering, well, why didn't they fix this?
that whole thing of nobody really pushed it or what it wasn't, you don't like that whole thing of the squeaky wheel is the one that gets fixed, but
Oh,
sometimes that ends up just the
yeah.
reality is sometimes that's part of the whole deal here of people need to know that that's a thing because like I said before, you don't know what you don't know. If people have never heard of this or aren't necessarily familiar enough to understand what significance this has, they're not going to fight for it. They're not going to have an opinion on it necessarily because they don't know what it is. So
Exactly.
I hope like this being a format where people can actually at least get an introduction to what this is and why all these topics are so important. That's where I hope we can make at least a little bit of difference out there in the world. And maybe this will spur a thought for the next thing comes up in a person's life of, oh yeah, there was that thing I heard about. now you know. And
Absolutely.
you don't know what you don't know, but now once you know it, you can't
Yeah,
unknow it. You can't pretend you didn't hear about this.
exactly. And now that you know, now you got to share so you can let other people know.
Oh, thank you so much for bringing this to us here today and having this time to have this conversation because this is important. And for those of you who are able-bodied and not really thinking about these kind of things being something that affect you, someday, you don't know when that is, but someday it might. It might be you, it might be a loved one, a good friend. Who knows? We all are in a different place in our life, right? And I have things that are hitting me right now that aren't hitting the next person because we all are on our own journey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We all have our own challenges, and why not help each other with it, right? That way we don't feel like we're alone. Someone else is there with us, helping us. Even if you're not going through the same exact challenge, just be someone's ally, you know?
If one word that just came to mind is humankind. Let's
Yes,
put an emphasis on the kind part.
absolutely.
Excellent. Well, Diva, thank you so much for being here. Denise Vargas, she is again with Live Creatively, and she is the master of it. And if you want to know more how to dream every day and visualize always, reach out to Diva to find out more because she's one of my favorite people. And I think you're getting a hint of why that is because she is pretty dang fabulous. So, Diva, thank you so much for being here. We
Thank
here again are with the TDC Today Show, and actually, I'm going to give you just your 30 seconds here for a last thought.
Well, you know what? I just want to say thank you to you and Kurt because, the two of you, while you don't have any disability, you have started something phenomenal with your ski groups. You have made it so accessible to everyone. Go out and play, right? And be out in the water. I'm still not getting on the water, but I'm really happy that you guys are there doing that and you really are allies. Because again, for someone that does not have a disability, does not have any, family members with disabilities, you've all gone above and beyond. And we're always here together talking about, accessibility and everything that's inclusion. So thank you.
So happy to be here. And that whole concept of go out and play, I love it. And you know what? Even those who don't like the water, come on out to the lake and enjoy the view and be the cheering section when we have events. We always say there's a place for everyone. So excellent. So we are so happy to be here with the Disability Channel. We are your USA team for the Today Show. And until next